The following podcast is brought to you by Iconic Nation Media.
Welcome to In Studio with Kimberly Lovey, where mindset meets motherhood, media meets mogul energy, and every episode feels like a front row seat to the life you're meant to lead. The podcast where ambition meets authenticity and we make success look oh so good, all while having lots of laughs. I'm Kimberly Lovey, wife, mom of three, founder of Iconic Nation Media, and the CEO who's been there, built that, all while chasing toddlers and even making an occasional appearance on the tennis courts. This show is your front row seat to the real talk behind building a brand, raising a family, and becoming the most iconic version of you. We cover business, mindset, motherhood, media, and all the messy moments in between. Every week, I'm joined by visionaries, creators, and changemakers who aren't afraid to share the unfiltered magic behind their come up. This isn't just a podcast. This is your all-access pass to finally play big. Let's play boldly, beautifully, and unapologetically together. So grab your matcha, fix that crown, and get ready to step into the studio. In Studio with Kimberly Lovey, because your next level has been waiting, and it's fabulous. Hello, and welcome back to In Studio with Kimberly Lovey. Welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well. You guys, today we're gonna debrief about something that's kind of outside of the norm, but I really wanted to tell you because, well, I know Yvette really wants to hear, but I'm sure several others do too. So we went to Jeff Lewis's Chump Con in Vegas. So they wanted Liat to come on and do a radio spot because she'll go on as a guest. She's good friends with Jeff, and Liat, she's one of the hosts. Like, I produce her show, Heel to Feel. I'm sure you guys know by now with MJ. And anyway, so we fly out there, and we fly private. Very nice. And we get there at 8 in the morning. Well, First of all, I have to go. We get up at like 4:30 in the morning. Liat has to get her glam done at like 4:35 in the morning. I drive over there, and her security takes us to pick up her friend Maya. So we pick up Maya, and we get to the airport, and we get right in the car or right in the plane, and Scary Sherry's already on the plane with like a marketing girl for a brand that Liat is an investor. Her and Trevor are investors in this brand called Interior, and it's like a health and wellness juice that's really yummy. It keeps you trim, it keeps you energized, it's great before a workout, it's great to mix with cocktails, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Interior is a sponsor, and so that's why we're going. And also Liat was asked to be a guest so that she could go and promote Interior. So we go there. We fly, and she has to be on air at like 9:40, and basically we're in the air, and originally they're like, okay, it'll only be a 40-minute flight, which is perfect because then we'll get there like by the time we took off, it was like 8:10, so we were going to be there like around 9, just before 9, and then as we're like getting closer, they're like, we're the 10th in line, and we actually are going to be landing closer to 9:15. Keep in mind, when we land, we have to like get into the car and drive over to the hotel, find the place, and then get her there. So all of a sudden it was like, oh crap, are we going to be late? Are we not going to be late? What is going on? So thankfully we land at 9 and we're able to get there. I'm like looking up the map of the hotel. I'm telling the driver, like, please drop us off at this entrance, because it was at Resort World, which, I've never been to, but you know how these hotels can be massive. And I'm like, we cannot sit here and like blindly walk into the hotel and then figure out where she needs to go, because we could literally waste 15 minutes, and her spot on radio is only 17 minutes long. And like, you have to be there on time because it's live. So it's like the Jeff Lewis live on Sirius. So anyway, thankfully I like figured out the map, told the driver, like asked him very nicely, can you please drop us off at this entrance because we have to be at this place. Anyway, so we have no problems. Thankfully, everything's smooth. And we go into the hotel. We find the restaurant. It's 10:30 or it's 9:45. Wait, at this point, it's like, yeah, 9:40. She has to be there. So it's like the morning. The show's already been going since 9 o'clock because he's on from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific. So we get there and there's a live audience. They had paid like a VIP to have this like VIP experience where they get to see the full show live, which is fans are crazy and they like are obsessed with him. He calls them chumps, which apparently is from Shannon Bedore's, like, I guess it came from David Bedore. If you watch The Real Housewives of Orange County, you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, he names his audience chumps. So the name of the conference is called Chump Con. And he had paid like 20 different people to come out and be a part of the entire weekend. The whole weekend's like this crazy Vegas weekend. There's a pool party, there's a live show, there's after parties, there's karaoke nights, there's like a big event Saturday night. So anyway, whatever. It's a big thing. There's like hundreds, I don't know, maybe thousands of people. But we get there and there's, I don't know how many people in the audience, maybe like 100. And so anyway, we get there and Liat has to go sit with like all the people that are like about to go up on stage. And then everyone's recognizing Scary Sherry, who is a card reader that Jeff Lewis and Liat love. And I've come to get to know well. And she's like a medium, but she reads cards. And so she's like, yeah. So anyway, so people are like recognizing her and giving her hugs and they're like, oh my God. And so Liat goes on there and Kelly Dodd is there. So this episode in general, I should have started, is like for like the Real Housewives or like like anyone that likes like the Bravo people. This is a good episode for you guys to listen to right now. But anyway, so Kelly Dodd is there. She was not my vibe because she seemed very like trying to be relevant. She seemed the whole time like she was there with her boyfriend or husband, I think now husband Rick Leventhal, who was like a CNN reporter. But you know when there's someone that's like just dying for attention and like it gives off that energy of like they're loving attention and they're acting a fool just to have attention? That's her. And it was just, she said some like negative things about MJ that I didn't like very broad. I don't know. I was turned off. I was not thrilled with that. Yeah. So anyway, we get through that filming. We met a bunch of like the behind the scenes people on Jeff's team, which was great. Shane Douglas was there, who's Jeff's assistant. He came on Heel to Feel also. And his mom was there. And she always is like DMing us. And like, she's Shane's biggest fan, her son. And it was really cute. She was adorable. She was the first to get a reading with Sherry. So Yvette, like our whole team had kind of like set up Scary Sherry, the psychic, to do all these readings. So she ended up having like, I think 7 readings the first day and 4 readings the second day or something, because we only were there till like 10. We left Saturday morning at like 10. So anyway, she got in like 11 readings, which was crazy. So Shane's mom was like the first one to be read by Scary Sherry. So as soon as Liat was done with radio and we kind of like schmoozed with everyone, we had to go and check into our room because we had 3 different rooms, like 3 suites. And then the plan was that Scary Sherry was going to be reading in her own room so that it was private. The problem is that, well, one, really Yvette should have been there with us, number one, to help us manage all of this. But because Yvette was kind of like helping Scary Sherry get everybody booked and set up and all that kind of stuff. But what we didn't realize is that like there's a lot of logistics in Vegas. And so just to get to the suite, it's like you have to have a key card. You have to go through 7 different doors, like go down the corridor. It's like a 20-minute walk just to get to her suite. So we're like, this is not going to work. So then we ended up like one group, they were like getting like kind of antsy because they were waiting to hear back like where to go. And anyway, it was a little bit of like a kerfuffle, but we totally smoothed it over with everybody and like we got everybody settled. We found a space that was easy in the hotel for her to read them. And it went really well for her, which was great. We were buying them coffees. We were talking to them. They were excited to meet us. They were happy. And like every single person left Scary Sherry being like, oh my God, that was incredible. A lot of people were crying because she'll tell you like the good and the bad. So, and that's why they call her Scary Sherry. Scary Sherry is because like she's scary real and she's scary right about what she says. So sometimes she'll tell you things that are not good. And sometimes that's just how it is. Like, she will tell you. But she'll also tell you like really good stuff. It just depends on what she sees. And so anyway, so that was her whole thing. So we spent a good part of the day getting her situated because we just wanted to make sure that everybody that was reading with her was like happy and that, she felt comfortable and all of that. So then me, Maya, and Liat, we had a couple hours. We were starving. So we went to eat at Wally's, which is a place in Beverly Hills too. But okay, so we go to Wally's, you guys. We're starving, and we know that we have events starting at like 4:45 throughout like the entire night. So we're like, we don't even know when we're gonna have time to eat dinner. We were like, okay, we didn't really eat breakfast. We did a little bit on the plane, but like I think I had like a parfait or something. But we were like, this is our moment. We have to like eat a ton of food because we're gonna be drinking. We're not gonna have a ton of time to eat. So we start ordering, you guys. Like, we are like binge eating. Like, we order a truffle pizza. We order a charcuterie board which has like Wagyu beef, prosciutto, truffle cheese, manchego cheese, some other kinds of cheeses and meats. Okay, so full-blown charcuterie. We order tomato soup. We get a burger. We got a Caesar salad. I think was that everything? I don't remember if I'm missing anything. Anyway, it was an obscene amount of food for us three. And so I forgot to mention, I skipped a part. Earlier, this is relevant. So earlier when we were at the radio, we had run into Crystal Minkoff or not run into, like we knew they were going to be there, but we were hanging out with Crystal Minkoff and Cynthia Bailey. And they have a podcast together, and we want them on our podcast. So anyway, Crystal invites us to have a shot with her. It's 10:30 in the morning. We're talking to her about our kids. She's like down to come on our podcast. Cynthia seems like she's going to be down. All good stuff, just kind of hanging out. We see as we're leaving, like Molly Sims walks in, and she's beautiful. She's wearing this beautiful sparkly skirt. And anyway, so cut to now we're binge eating, right, at Wally's. And we're on the patio, so like you cannot miss us. If you walk into Wally's, you're going to see us because we're sitting right next to the host stand. And so we're sitting there literally like binge eating all this food, like complete pigs, just gluttonous. And in walks Molly Sims. And when I say in walks, I mean in saunters. Like, she's a super freaking model, okay? She's a supermodel. She's walking in her gorgeous sparkly skirt, all poised like the supermodel that she is. And we're sitting there. There's food all over our faces, probably in our nails, like just disgusting. And I just bust up laughing after the fact. Like, do you guys realize this is not exactly the way I would have ever pictured myself to have like a first Molly Sims encounter where I'm binge eating and I'm like gorging myself and here she comes. Like, how embarrassing. And we're like dying laughing at ourselves. Like, we're just disgusting humans. But anyway, so that was like our Molly Sims story. And the whole night I kept saying to Liat and Maya, I'm like, can I please go tell Molly about this? Because we kept running into her at all the events, And I just wanted to tell her because that's me. I want to be like so authentic and so honest and be like, Molly, hi, hey girl, you have no idea who the hell I am, but I have to tell you my celeb encounter story with you and why it's so hilarious to us. Like, I feel like she would have been cool about it and would have been laughing and like would have been our friend. And like Liat was like, no, don't say anything. And anyway. So that was that. Then we get ready. We end up going to the first event. Actually, we end up being late. We're waiting for Scary Sherry to be ready because we don't want to leave her. So we go get a drink at the bar. I have an espresso martini with Liat. Maya has some other tequila drink. It's great. It's quiet. It's wonderful. And it was the perfect thing. Like, I feel like an espresso martini is like very tricky because you either like, when do you really have an espresso martini? When is it really like called for? It's called for when you are really dragging from being up at 4 a.m. You have about 4 more events to go and it's barely 5 o'clock and you are barely like, your eyes are barely open. That's when you have your first cocktail as your espresso martini. And that is exactly what we did. And it was perfect because we had to go to a pre-event, a VIP event, and then the after party event. I think there was like 3 or 4 different things, whatever. Anyway, so we end up waiting for Scary Sherry to get ready. She comes out. She looks beautiful. But unfortunately, we did miss like the pre-event. So then we start like wandering around the hotel, and we're looking for this place called Kitty Kitty Lounge. And it's like, someone's like, it's by the food court. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, we're in Vegas for this like fabulous event. We're like in the food court, wandering around. Scary Sherry ends up taking off her shoes. We've walked so long. We have no idea where the hell we are. We finally find the event. Scary Sherry walks off because she has to go to the bathroom. We're like cringing because we're like, she went to the bathroom without her shoes. Like, we can't right now. But anyway, they're at capacity. And then Jeff's manager, Jeff Lewis's manager, was like, so when we got there, they're like, the hotel was saying, we're at capacity. We can't let anybody else in. And then Jeff's manager, Liz, looks at us and goes, no, they have to be in. So we have to wait for people to leave. And she gets us in immediately. And meanwhile, Scary Sherry is nowhere to be found. We started joking. She's like our baby that we have to like monitor the whole time. And like we're passing around the baby because we're all like trying to take care of her. But anyway, so we like start to walk in. That place was so packed. We couldn't even stand. So we talked to Doug for 5 minutes. Maya's going off with Doug. Doug is like Jeff Lewis's one of his like showrunner or something. I don't know his official like title or whatever, but anyway, he's a big part of Jeff's show. Everybody knows him. Apparently he wants to be on our show, blah, blah, blah. He starts talking about gardening and salts, and Maya's talking about gardening, and I'm like taking notes, like I'm listening intently because I'm like, wow, they're passionate about their salt and their tomatoes, and I want in on this life. Like, how do you grow your own food? Like, what is going on right now? But anyway, we have no idea who's really there because we can't even fully walk into the room. And within 10 minutes, we're like, we have to leave. So we walked out because it's just too packed. It's not our scene. So we walk out. We go to the next event like early. There's already people there. Hundreds of people are already there. They're waiting in line. We walk right in. We see Liat's brand interior. And Scary Sherry, oh yeah, we had found Scary Sherry, thankfully, and she wants a drink, but she doesn't drink alcohol. So we're waiting in this line for like 20 minutes. And it starts to fill up slowly but surely, the event. People start coming over and the event gets going. That event is from 6 to 8 p.m. So this is event 2 of 3 of the night. And in walks, let's see, we had Reza Farhan from Shah's of Sunset is there. He's in a silver sparkly top, like sleeveless. Very Vegas glam. He sees Liat. He seems very interested in Liat. So he says hi to her. And then Cynthia's there. And again, Crystal's there. Oh, Jamie Kennedy is there, who I love. He's my friend. He's our friend and we love him. And he's there. And like, but it's for the fans, right? So we're not trying to go up to these people and talk to them because like these people paid to be at this event to meet them. Like, this is their moment to meet these people. And it's like really, really exciting for them. So we're kind of like minding our own business, but I'm just kind of watching the whole thing. Everybody, we're saying hi, like light hellos, but we're not like in deep conversation. I see Shane's mom. She's adorable. We see some of the other people. Oh, this was super exciting. People were starting to recognize Liat and they were coming up to us and I would be like, oh, take a picture with her. Like, she starts to have like fans, which is so cute and awesome. But the best thing was that people would be like, oh my God, we love Heel to Feel. We love your show. And it was so awesome. And then MJ wasn't there. And so some of her fans were like, oh, I wish she was here. I would love to tell her how much she impacted me. And I'm like, well, why don't you tell her right now? And so I started videoing some of her fans and texting her. And they were like shitting themselves. They were like, I would die if you sent this to MJ. Like, you don't understand. Like, this means so much to me. And I'm like, no problem. Like, she knows. And MJ loved it. And it was just really sweet to get to hear from MJ's fans and Liat's fans and the fans of the show, which was, it's so crazy because when you're podcasting, like right now you're listening, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know if you like it or not. Like, you didn't tell me. If you didn't text me or you didn't comment or you didn't like it, I don't know. And so the only thing that we really see is either any social media comments or if you rate the show or if you listen. So that's really how you know. It's not like that interactive. So to be out and about with like thousands of people and they're stopping you saying you love the show, it's like, it's so rewarding. I cannot even explain how satisfying it is. Like, to be like, oh my God, people like this. Like, because we kill ourselves to produce these shows. Like, we are so devoted to this, right? Like, we spend an inordinate, this is our job. This is what we do all the time. So anyway, it was so incredible to get to see that. And anyway, and then Jeff Lewis, and he walks in and his boyfriend, I guess he has a new boyfriend, and various people. And anyway, so he comes up to us, and we're still, by the way, we're still, in case you were wondering, we are still waiting in line to get Scary Sherry a drink and to get ourselves a drink. And he comes up, and he like gives Liat a hug. He gives me a hug, and he's like, "Oh, so how did my episode do for you guys?" Because he was on Heel to Feel, and then Liat was like, "Oh my God, it was amazing." And I told him, I was like, first of all, I honestly did not realize how big of a fan base you have. Like, I did not realize, like, the guy has like the second largest show on Sirius Radio behind Howard Stern. For some reason, I just had no idea he was that big, and his fans are like a cult. They're obsessed with him. And he's like, yeah, they're pretty into it and stuff. And he's like very humble about it, by the way. And then I was like, and just so you know, your episode, like your fans, they loved the episode when you were on Heel to Feel. And I was like, it was so amazing because you've been in the limelight for almost 20 years. And I can't tell you how many hundreds and thousands of comments we got about, we loved hearing about Jeff's story. Like, we loved hearing this side of Jeff. And like, it was really like a totally different kind of approach that we had taken with him than his fans had ever seen. And it was just like very personal. And I guess he's used to being in control. And he said, he's like, well, it's because I was so comfortable with Liat and she did such a great job. I'm like, yeah, she did an amazing job. And he's like, nobody else could have gotten that from me. It's just that I'm so comfortable with her. And he said, and your team, like, I knew you guys would take care of me. Like, I trusted you guys to take care of me. Because, sometimes when you're deep in conversations and you're filming and recording, you forget, like, you're filming and recording and you're just talking to your friends. And so, if he said something that maybe could have caused grief or wasn't favorable or whatever, like, my team's always we're just really careful not to exploit both our hosts and our guests. Like, I never want to put something out to implicate people or to cause drama or have to have them like defend something that they said. Like, I want them comfortable and I want them to be proud of, being on our show. And I want them to feel proud of the work that's put out. So I am very protective as a producer. I'm very protective of our hosts and our guests, first and foremost. Like, if somebody says something that could be gray area, my team knows, like, my production team's amazing. They're very sensitive too. Like, our whole team is very sensitive like this. And we are like, we'll flag stuff and like bring it to them and be like, do you want to air this or do you want to cut this? Because like MJ, honestly, she says a lot of stuff. She's an open book. She's used to it from being like a public figure. But like, most people wouldn't want to talk about the fact that they've had, miscarriages or abortions or whatever. And I don't really know the details, right? Like, I don't really know. But all I know is I'm protecting my friend. And so anyway, the fact that he gave our whole team that compliment of like, he trusted us. And like his fans, like you guys, the views on YouTube, we had over 30,000 views on his episode. That is insane. So, by the way, catch that if you missed it. It's on our YouTube. If you look up Iconic